forgotten Indian lore and craftsmanship are being brought to life again. A unique WPA project sponsored at the Tonawanda Indian Reservation in upstate New York, under the auspices and direction of the Museum of Arts and Sciences. The making of exquisite beaded garments, patterned after those worn a century and more ago by Indian princesses of the Six Nations. These arrive, and the articles they turn out are to be distributed to museums throughout the world as permanent exhibits of the early arts and crafts of the primitive. And here's Dame Fashion's early American tea gown, before the Pilgrims came. For the men, there are many things to do. Boiling bark to make it pliable, for bark was the Indians' most useful gift from nature. Rope making, Indian style. Bark strips and ropes are used in countless ways by the redskin aborigines. In this manner, they wove baskets, seines, and traps, primitive articles for daily. Burden straps for carrying heavy loads. The men are adept, too, at wood carving, artistic little statuettes portraying early Indian life. They are made of maple or of whitewood and show before sin caught up with them. But the early denizens of New York State believed in a special kind of hobgoblin. False faces they were called, a race of supernatural beings of weird and frightful features, horrible heads without bodies, evil spirits and demons that visited upon the primitive red man all kinds of maladies and bad luck. To combat these hideous spirits, an Indian secret society flourished for generations. In fact, members of this band can still be found in old Iroquois villages in New York State and Canada. Wearing masks such as these, patterned after the imagined demon faces, the false face band became a sort of medicine cult to propitiate the evil spirits and ward off pestilence. It's a question whether or not the cure wasn't worse than the disease. Don't look now, but I think we're being haunted. Cairo, the city of many nations and of many mosques. It's a center of Muslim culture, and from its minaret, the muezzins call thousands upon thousands of the faithful to prayer 4 times each day. But not today. The muezzin's strident voice is still. A louder voice booms out so all may hear. For it's the annual festival of Kurban Bayram, to mark the sacrifice of Abraham, and all must heed the call. Like the sands of the sea, they kneel before the mosque and give thanks to Allah. But in that vast assemblage, there are no women. In Islam, women have to take religion second-handed. The men go to the mosques and pray. The fame of ancient Egypt is known to every schoolboy. But here now is one of the few places where the art and architecture of medieval Egypt, the Egypt of the caliphs and the Mamelukes, can be seen with its latticed harem windows and its other oriental mysteries. The House of the Cretans. This dwelling is called a magnificent example of 17th century Saracen architecture, which has been restored with remarkable fidelity by Major Geyer Anderson Bay, an Englishman. Formerly Minister of the Interior, Oriental Secretary in Egypt, the Major long has been a connoisseur of Oriental art, with its wealth of carvings and ornate designs. The original well still stands in the central courtyard. elaborate arched doorways mark the medieval richness of the mansion. And beautiful latticed windows, each of different design, impressive examples of the woodcarver's art. The wealthy Moslem raised his family amid scenes of luxury and beauty, back when America was still log cabin minded. The Mosque of Muhammad Ali dominates the skyline as the Prophet dominates the lives of his believers. Muslim children of today, like their ancestors, must memorize the Koran. Major Gayer Anderson has made a veritable museum of the house, filling it with rare and costly Arabian antiques, including furniture and table service of exquisite craftsmanship. There's the Major himself, arrayed in Oriental splendor to demonstrate the customs and the color of a bygone age. The Major recently deeded his entire collection to the Egyptian government so that this house can become a national museum, a shrine where all the world can see how Egypt's upper classes lived 3 centuries ago and marvel at the beauty of their art. A peep into the dwelling's sleeping quarters. Only the master of the house had a real bed. All others slept on divans. The harem, alas, has long been empty, but there are the lattice screens through which many a dark-eyed beauty got her only glimpse of the outside world, luxury and rich furnishings to compensate for their shut-in lives. Arabic backgammon on an antique board that's worth its weight in gold can still be fast and furious. That graceful silver service with its alabaster tray is the Major's most prized possession. Even the flat-top roof is rich in history and art. More exquisitely carved screens and lovely pottery. Those old sheiks and caliphs knew a thing or two about the art of living. Home to them wasn't just a place to hang your turban. It was where they really lived.